So, Mr. DeGise, how do you feel about these numbers that came out today?
Well, I'll tell you, when you could get more productivity for less money, it's hard not to like that, you know. And I'll admit to a little bit of skepticism in the beginning when Frank said we could give you, you know, more hours, we can make 24-hour patrols possible, and at the same time save you money. It sounds a little too good to be true, but we agreed to try to work with the Sheriff's Department in making this happen. We like the idea of having 24-hour patrols. The mayors of the different towns thought that this would be a way of complementing the police departments in their own towns already, so we tried it, and it worked. And I think a lot of it has to do to leadership within the Sheriff's Department with Sheriff Schillari, and also the willingness of the unions to work with us in adjusting their schedules and their contracts to make this possible. So it works, and the real winners of this are the people of Hudson County.
So will you say that all the mayors in Hudson County are very happy with this implementation?
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. I hear it from them very often that there is not only more of a presence within the county parks, which we've been able to do, but we are now available to help them when they're overwhelmed with some of their the calls for service in their district, that there is some place for them to go for that we're able to help them. And the Sheriff's Department is all about that. You know, these guys are cops. They are trained, highly trained police officers, men and women there, and they want to put bad guys in jail. They want to make our streets safer, and so this has given them the incentive. You know, they're not sitting in a courtroom. That's very important. The work that they do there in protecting the judges there and the transportation of the prisoners is very important work. But like I think if you ask them to a man and the woman, they would say they want to lock up some bad guys. They want to keep our streets safe, and this has given them the opportunity to do that.
According to those numbers, they reflect the number of calls that came into the Sheriff's Department. What about the
exactly calls? There would be requests for help. You know, requests for response for that. But you know, they'll be coming from the other departments.
So we say that the how will you define then the crime now in Hudson County within this past year?
Well, you know, I think the numbers have indicated that in most categories crime has been down there, but you know, that's very small consolation to someone who has been a victim of crime. So I don't think you judge crime in cities, urban areas, by numbers. I think you would, you know, whether or not the streets feel safer, look safer, and are safer is the telling thing. And anytime that you could put people like the sheriff's officers' uniforms and marked cars out on the street, it makes for the perception of safety. It helps with that perception. You know, numbers can vary. They can vary. I mean, you saw a little bit when the sheriff was going over the numbers. The prostitution arrests were 2. Okay, now that isn't a large number, but it was up from 0 from the year before. So I don't know whether or not you look only to numbers to judge the effectiveness of a program, although the numbers obviously work very well. But I think it's more, we're putting more men and women out there to help fight crime, and that has to help.
Would you say then the people of Hudson County is very happy with this implementation, and they feel much safer?
They should be. You know, we're not telling people, you know, those of us who live in the city, and I'm a Jersey City boy my whole life, you know, you live in the city. You know how to survive in the city. You know when there are things, risks that you shouldn't be taking, places that you shouldn't be at certain times. You know all that, and you know, so you got to cooperate with the police departments and keep yourself safe too there. And we all understand that. But I think that the people of Hudson County are very happy that their governments are putting more of an effort into policing and into public safety.
Now, with all that savings that are happening right now, how do you feel about those savings, and what are you going to do with those savings, or what's?
Well, you know, when I go over the budget, which we're starting to do for this year, there are items that go up, there are items that go down and there are items that stay about the same. And I'll tell you that the ones who go up are a lot more than the ones that go down. We're very grateful for the ones that go down, but in most cases it isn't like found money that you put your hand in your pocket and you find a $20 bill or something like that. You know, this money will be spent to offset some of the other expenses like pensions and medical costs that have gone up. And we appreciate that, and we appreciate the Sheriff's Office for finding that money for us. But it's not a rainy day fund. You know, we're not going to go out and buy some new shiny thing. We'll use it, we'll put it into the General Treasury, and we'll make sure that it appears in the budget as relief to the taxpayers.